Guys, it happened. We made a movie on this channel. Hollywood saw it, and they said, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Let's take it. Let's make it our thing. If you haven't been keeping up on the news, the Monster Serial Cinematic Universe is in development. Now that it's a race against time, we have to complete our series before the real movies get made. We gotta go on ahead and hit that next one. We gotta do Fruit Brute today.
Yep, gotta get Fruit Brute out of the way.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Screen to Screen. I'm Andrew and this is Chris.
Hi there.
So Fruit Brute. Fruit Brute, one of the forgotten children of the monster serials.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen that box ever in my life.
Yeah, I think it was just a 70s serial. I don't think it even crossed paths into the 80s. I think we missed that one.
Jeez.
But it is you could see Fruit Brute featured in Pulp Fiction in the one scene Eric Stoltz is eating Fruit Brute. So Quentin Tarantino knows about it. Maybe he'll direct this one. The first movie we did, Count Chocula. We got like a goth girl meets Count Chocula and they become friends, whatever. You have the Frankenberry, where like a berry bog man works with like a father and son, and they become friends, whatever. Then you have the Booberry, who's this like dead salesman who helps this girl like become the capitalist like kind of overlord there, whatever. Kid meets monster, become friends. We do it over and over. This time, what if the kid's the monster?
I mean, all children are monsters. Let's be serious.
This movie, I'm thinking, takes place in the 90s.
Okay, all right.
The kid grows up and becomes is the adult Fruit Brute in the crossover movie that will happen a few movies down the line.
Kind of like It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. Like in It Chapter 1, it's kids. It Chapter 2, it's those kids as adults.
Yes. So I think that alleviates the befriending the monster idea.
Yeah.
And also it gives us kind of a brand new perspective. The one thing I just want to make sure we don't do is I don't want to remake Teen Wolf necessarily.
All right, well, you lost me because that's what I was going to do.
Well, the thing is, like, Teen Wolf's already a movie and a show and also a sequel and another show. There was a cartoon Teen Wolf. And,
it's true.
But I mean, nothing against Teen Wolf. It's just already made.
Yeah.
So let's not do too many Teen Wolf things, though it has been a while since I've seen Teen Wolf, and I might accidentally do it.
We'll keep it completely different. My thought is that this kid's on the basketball team.
Okay. I can't remember Teen Wolf that well, but I'm pretty sure there's absolutely no basketball in it. How do you become a werewolf? There's a few ways. What if there is a fruit from another land that if you eat it, you become a werewolf?
Okay, I like that because he is a Fruit Brute.
He's a Fruit Brute. That's how he gets his powers, from the fruit.
I actually like that quite a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's a fruit that we never heard of. Of course, in our movie, we're gonna make up the fruit. I think
it's gonna be a made up fruit. We can call it. It's a Fruit Loop.
What about the lupine-apple?
Lupine-apple.
I don't know if it's pineapple or an apple. Maybe it looks a little like both.
A little bit.
Maybe it doesn't look like either. It's
like a kiwi and it's hairy.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I like that. Yes, definitely. Let's dive into the theme here.
Now, what theme are we looking for? Because that'll inform a lot of our choices.
Well, see, the problem is like Teen Wolf really nailed it. I feel like werewolfism as a metaphor for puberty is pretty good.
I mean, that's one of the best examples. Ginger Snaps, I mentioned earlier, is a great werewolf movie that is coming of age as werewolfism. Do we want to just do it? Like, it's almost like an elephant in the room. If we don't do it, it seems awkward. I feel like we can do it, but is that the only theme we want? Like, do we want to have?
Yeah, we could flesh that out.
Because how he gets the fruit, like, if it's one of those things where like has a weird relationship with his father, they're not that close. Mm-hmm. Like, it could be part of the father's work that gets the fruit in the house.
There's also like the mood swings of perhaps teenage years. Your hormones are all wacky, and one day you're feeling great, the next day you're feeling bad, and maybe there's something to that. Like a werewolf will switch around like that.
Yeah. So we're at the age, we're going with puberty. So this is a kid who's going from girls are icky to girls are possibly feel attraction toward whatever. But at the same time, we're also entering that period where, like, it's no longer just a bunch of kids messing around. Now you have, like, the like peer pressure's entering the fray. We could have a situation where like he's hanging out with his friends, but like they might be the wrong kind of crowds. They see like friggin' let's take the strange curio shop from Gremlins. Like,
Okay.
you have a mysterious old man from a foreign land with weird wares to sell. And the kids are like, ew, look at this weird fuzzy fruit. Oh, I dare you to eat it. And the old man's like, no, this fruit is forbidden. And, you know, you get the peer pressure. It's like, come on, steal it. Steal it. And, you know, he makes the bad decision to steal it, and he eats the fruit. And we could work with that for, like, you know, learning to say no, learning that your friends, people change. You shouldn't always hang out with people just because you have in the past.
Now, I like that, except for it kind of muddles the metaphor a little bit. And maybe we need to reevaluate the metaphor. Because if the gateway into adulthood is doing a bad thing,
I see.
You transform, and now that's his new life. It feels a little weird. You know, it's... I like the scene that you've put there. Maybe we need to reevaluate what maybe the fruit brute is. Although here's interesting. He's a fruit brute. Maybe he needs to learn not to be a brute.
Actually, that's good. That works with what I just presented, and that gives us a nice arc for the character. Like, it could be learning to not be a little shit.
Yeah. He, like, because all the other ones are sort of like, they're misunderstood. Maybe he's not misunderstood.
Yeah.
He needs to learn to be a
This is
guy.
about bettering himself.
Yeah.
In that case, like, he could be hanging out with the wrong crowds. Like, this is a problem. He's entering, like, this tricky period where things are getting even more confusing for him. And he just goes with the flow with his dickbag friends. He bites the fruit. He gets sick. They don't help him in any way. They just kind of leave him on the street, convulsing. Comes home, parents are worried. Like, don't bother me. Like,
this is this like Spider-Man?
That is a little bit of a Spooderman situation.
I'm okay borrowing from Spider-Man. It doesn't feel as bad that, like, borrowing from Teen Wolf feels like we're just
plagiarism.
Yeah, but borrowing from Spider-Man, it's like it's a different kind of feel to it.
Yeah, like, this is when he gets his powers, but he can't control them as well. Like,
yeah. Maybe this is a little bit of like a superhero kind of structure. You know, what's werewolf powers? Like super strength. That's basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, hair isn't really a power.
I mean, agility. You have all the wolf
agility.
things, so you could smell from super far away.
There we go.
You could hear really good.
Okay, yeah. He's got wolf powers.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Maybe that helps him out in school. Maybe the basketball team.
Basketball team. I think what we want to aim for is, in the beginning, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's grappling.
He starts off bad. Like, Act 1, he's a bad guy.
I think
he's a
Act
bully.
1, we should aim for, like, you get the impression that he's hanging out with these kids, but they might not be the right group, and the brute represents that path.
I think I might have a fun new idea.
All right.
I don't think I've seen this movie. The act, like, the first scene is a kid's, like, being, like, hassled by a bully at school. It's like, hey, loser, give me your lunch money. I'll shove you in that locker. Like, don't. Okay, like, hey, what an idiot. And then the bully walks away. The camera follows the bully, and he's like, that's me.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's like, what? Oh, the bully's the main character?
The bully's the main character.
And it's sort of like it's the stock bully character. He is the protagonist of this movie. And, like, maybe his parents don't know he's such a jerk at school. And then through this transformation that's thrust upon him, he starts to, like, he is at the disadvantage now. And he is even worse than he wants to be.
Yeah.
And now he has to learn to control this. You know, like, maybe it's something like that.
Okay, all right.
Because it's a less cliche. If we have a character we start off not liking, like, you know, we have like Teen Wolf and you know Peter Parker, like, it's like, oh, these good guys they got these powers and I can relate to this guy, and like we flip the script.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this jerk he's funny to watch because he's got it so backwards.
Yeah.
And then, like, throughout the movie, you're like, oh, you know, I kind of like this guy. Now that he's going through this struggle, I kind of like him now. Like we get into that.
All right.
That could be kind of fun.
Now, what's his home life like? Are we gonna really lean into this bullying aspect? Like, are we gonna analyze why people are bullies?
I think my first instinct, maybe this is right, maybe this is wrong. My first instinct is that his family's fine.
Yeah.
I think like it's his choice to be a jerk.
Interesting.
Or maybe he's so well off that he doesn't like. I think like him coming from like a troubled home is like kind of cliche.
It
And
doesn't necessarily have to be troubled. We could also go the route where he's a bully because his parents, they're not like abusive or anything. They're just not there. Like it could be one of those, I just want attention in my life.
oh, maybe
situations.
they're just like they're super busy.
Like they could just be like,
merge the ideas.
eh?
It's a family like they're super well off, but they're never around because they're out making that money.
Exactly. Like we're talking rich parents that just aren't around. This kid was raised by nannies. He doesn't really have home authoritative figures to look up to.
So this is a movie about a bully redemption story. Like he learns to not be a bully through his own struggles.
I think through his struggles and through the people he meets and encounters.
Yeah.
I feel like the turning point for him is going to be he can't solve this problem on his own.
Yeah.
And like empathy from other people is what's going to help him out. So like he meets another person.
Yeah.
Probably someone who's, comes from like a terrible home, but isn't a bully.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
whoever he bullies the most in Act 1 has to be his best friend in Act 3.
That tends to be how it goes.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, like that's the character arc there.
So we could keep the stealing and eating of a fruit from a store, but it's no longer like peer pressure. He can even be the one doing the peer pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
He gets someone else to steal it. They're too chicken to eat the weird, mysterious fruit, so he just snatches it, makes fun of him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We could have a moment where an old lady's carrying her groceries, and he just bashes into her, knocks her over, spills all of her groceries on the floor, which is mostly a pile of fruit. You brute! And then later on, I saw you did that, lady. Knocked her fruit out of there. You fruit brute.
Well, the thing I was thinking of, it's like he eats the fruit, he becomes the monster.
Yeah.
And the kids want to taunt him with something, so it's the fruit. What fruit? Brute? Like I feel like that's plausible. Like they wouldn't start with brute, just like the people who made the cereal didn't do that.
That's
they
true.
started with fruit.
Or like it's the thing you save to the very end, where like his arc is completed, and he's like, "Who are you?" I'm the fruit brute.
The fruit brute.
What's his name? Is his name Brutus? So that's how we can get Brute in there.
I mean, I don't think that's the worst idea.
I'm just really reaching for like any possible way to get Fruit Brute in there. That's not.
I think
super dumb.
I think it's dumb in the right way.
Yeah, it's the appropriate level.
I think I'll go with that. He's Brutus.
It's like it even fits because if we're going with like rich but vacant parents, like rich people are the only people who would name their goddamn kid Brutus.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, all right, so I like that. Brutus the Brute.
Yeah. His nickname's Bruce. That's what he makes people call him.
Bruce, yeah.
Hey, Brutus, my name's Bruce!
Bruce. Like,
Act 1 could be like the transformation, because it's not going to be like a quick and easy, I eat the fruit and then I'm the Brute.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a Spider-Man, like, oh, I feel so good. Like, and then he wakes up the next day, or like, he goes into his room, he has like a fever or something, and like...
You have the sick, you probably have like... on the news about some sort of wild animal doing terrible things, and he doesn't know it's him, but other people are talking about it. Like you establish, like he has another side to himself now. But that's like the thing I have right now is like right now we have like a great Act 1. I think like it's perfect. What we don't have is an Act 2, an Act 3, and like what's the motivating factor for him becoming a better person?
Well, I think the Brute shows him who he will be if he doesn't, change his ways. It's sort of like, all right, what do you think about this? I don't know if this is any good, because we as the audience will definitely know who the Fruit Brute is. Yeah. But how long can we keep him in the dark and still like make the story interesting? Because it could be interesting where he sees this Fruit Brute and he's kind of disgusted by this thing. Yeah. It's like, oh, what a terrible guy. And then he finds out it's him. Now we're gonna know it's him the whole time, so I don't know if that fake suspense is worth anything from like a storytelling perspective. Maybe the Fruit Brute, does the Fruit Brute want to eat fruit? Does he like go to like supermarkets and trash them?
See, I'm trying to figure out where we want to go with like what the Brute does. Yeah. Because if we want to like have it mirror the character in some way, like perhaps it should be things that we hear and see throughout like his awake time, like I hate that house over there, it's ugly, and like,
right,
and then he wakes up and like some wild animal destroyed this home and terrorized the people, and it's like he slowly realizes like these are all the things I have problems with.
Yeah, all right. How about it's sort of like when like bullies will talk a talk, they'll say like, "Oh man, I hate this guy," and
but
they don't
bullying, but he's not going all the way.
Yeah. He just threatens, he talks, and sort of like deep down he's like, I'd never actually want that to happen. I just want to be intimidating.
But then people are attacked, as cars and houses are broken into.
Yeah, it's like, man, I wish someone would light that place on fire or something like that. And it's like the next, like, oh god, I didn't really mean that.
Arson strikes our small town.
Yeah. I guess not arson, because I feel like that's not really a werewolf thing to do. But
probably not. But again, just bashing things up, ripping things down, cars being destroyed.
Yeah.
I think your dad's new car is ugly, and I hope it gets trashed.
Yeah.
He's just like, man, my dad's car got trashed.
He's probably got some flunkies. Like, I feel like he
definitely got flunkies. Like that whole scene where he's like bullying the other people into getting the fruit. Like those are his flunkies.
Yeah. Because a bully's got to have friends, otherwise he's got no power over anyone.
Exactly.
So
gotta have those flunkies. Gotta have that little kid friend who stays there and watches you get beat up on. In the movie A Christmas Story, which is my go-to bully.
I think maybe like the low point for this movie is like something bad is happening to Brutus, and his like fake friends don't help him.
Yeah, because they don't like him.
They don't really like him.
Hang out because he's the alpha.
Yeah,
he's the alpha bully.
The alpha dog.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. That could be their like they call themselves the Wolf Pack.
Oh god. Total wolves.
He's a bit of a lone wolf. I feel like we should have that phrase in there somewhere.
Like that's what he'll say after the other guys like don't help him and they have their splitting of ways and he's on his own. It's like, I don't need you. I'm a lone wolf.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, Brutus. Shut up.
All right. I feel like we're like circling around something good here, and I don't know if we've quite nailed it yet.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what's going to help him stop being a bully, and I also don't know if there's going to be, like, is there an external conflict of any kind that's going to help him stop being a bully? Because is this all just an internal conflict story? Is this all about his personal journey, or is there something that's going to like mirror that on the outside? Like, is there a threat to him of any kind?
I think what stops people in real life, what stops people from being a bully is like you mature,
Yeah.
Like you get older, you sort of like see the world, you sort of like realize that you shouldn't do that.
You tend to leave your safety bubble, and that's when you learn.
Yeah, I think that's it. When you leave your safety bubble, you become more empathetic. I think that maybe this is a coming of age story in that way, whereas like an immature kid, he is a bully, and as he becomes an adult, he keeps his power in check. As the brute, he has the power to do this to people, but he doesn't.
How about at some point in Act 2, he's transformed into the brute against his will. There's the fruit moon has come out. Moon. He's transformed into a wolf. He's transformed into the brute. Like other times he's done it like when he wants to, or he's just taken advantage of his new heightened abilities. But he has his falling out with his bullies when, something goes wrong and they abandon him and he's on his own, and he finds that he can't transform back into himself. He's stuck as the brute. So he tries to go home.
Okay.
And, security's there. He can't get into his own house. Like, they're scared of him because he doesn't look like himself. And that's when he finds himself totally alone. And he's on the streets of his, like, little city town. I'm thinking, like, Springfieldish or something.
Okay.
And that's, like, his moment where he's on the outside looking in now. He doesn't have his safety nets. He doesn't have his privilege anymore.
Yeah.
It's just him on his own. And
he's
that's
got
when
no friends because he's been too much of a brute.
Exactly. Like, we could have scenes where he's been bullying, like, maybe homeless people earlier on in the movie, and, like, those are the ones that are helping him now.
Yeah.
Because they don't care that he's, like, a freak.
Yeah.
And, of course, that whoever he was bullying early on, who, like, is in a tough place because they've been bullying this kid because the kid's poor. Like, that kid could be the one that doesn't realize this is the bully.
Right.
Just knows it's, like, this weird, like, hairy man.
Yeah.
And that kid could be the one to help him, and this is where the werewolf learns empathy. yada yada.
Yeah, he's sort of I think that's the way to go. You have that sort of like he can't switch back sort of thing, and now it's like he needs a friend, and he's alienated everyone. But because there's that one kid who's sort of like this I don't know who this wolf guy is, but he obviously needs help, and no one's gonna help him, so I'm gonna help this guy out. And so now it's sort of like Brutus is like, oh, this kid, he's not gonna be nice to me because I was a jerk to him. Oh, but he doesn't know who I am. And it's sort of like, oh, I'm getting to know this guy. He's not so bad. Maybe I shouldn't be such a jerk, you know?
Yeah, like he learns empathy because he's out of his bubble. He's in a new place where he doesn't have his power he used to have. He's stuck as a monster. And he finds kindness from all the people he used to torment and make fun of. Like, the homeless are helping him. This poor kid's helping him. Like, his bully friends, like, they abandoned him. But now he has these new people that are helping him out. He learns empathy. And I think that actually is helping me with a bit of how this is going to go. So, Act 1, we got that in the bag. That's great.
Yeah.
Act 2, you know, we have these scenes where he's learning, like, I think I might be doing these terrible things that are happening in town. But he doesn't care so much because, you know, he's still a bully, but he feels a little bit bad. You know, it's starting to happen. And that feeling bad is what's probably going to be the trigger for, like, him not being able to control his powers as well. Like,
right.
He's having doubts. Like, he's no longer...
His the fact that him being a bully comes from the fact that he's in his safe zone. He knows he's untouchable. He feels like he could treat anyone like garbage because I feel like it's that sort of mentality where it's like, you know, the world is fair, so I've been given this power, you must be worthless. Yeah. Like, it's that sort of like, I'm a bully because you don't deserve me not to be a bully.
Oh, sorry.
That was really, So,
all right, so he sees the things that are happening on the TV. He's reading the news about his actions. He's starting to feel a little bit bad because he knows it's him now. He's hanging out. Almost missed an important part. He's seeing on the news, like, something he did put someone in the hospital. We have real consequences. And he's hanging out with his bully friends, and, like, they're just laughing about it. Like, did you see the news? Old man Bloody Blue's in the hospital. I hope he dies. That guy sucks. And he's just, like, talking to the bully friends, like, guys, like...
like he's getting more mature. It's like that's like
he's outgrowing these people.
He's I like that. That's good.
And, you know, like they get into a confrontation. Like, what are you, a pussy? Like they have to say bully stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And, like, they maybe get into a bit of a pushing match, and that turns him into the brutes.
Yeah.
And the other kids, like, they run away. They're afraid of him.
It's the fruit brute.
It's him. You've been doing. Like, they all run away.
No, don't run from me.
That leads us into, like, a little couple of scenes where, like, he can't get into his house. People are afraid of him. They're running away.
You can't unbrute himself.
He can't unbrute. And that puts us in a situation now where we could lead into, that's when he hooks up with the people he's been tormenting the whole time. The homeless help him. The kid he's been bullying helps him. And I think that's a good bridge now. Like, we have Act 1, we have most of Act 2, we have a good lead into his lowest point and how he's going to get out of it. And then, like, the big Act 3 scene can be, like, something he did as the brute earlier on causes, like, I don't know, like... a tenement building where a bunch of these people that have been helping him live catches fire or something.
Something big bad happens, and he
has to use his brute powers to help these people.
Using, which is a metaphor for using his privilege sort of to sort of help others.
Exactly.
You know? He comes from a well-off family, and so while he's not like literally like donating money, his beast powers are a metaphor for his money, and he's using his beast powers to save people.
Yes,
I like that.
I was struggling because I was like, do I have to, like, think of, like, I don't know, a vampire hunter or something to, like, help him be pushed in the right direction? But this actually works really well.
Yeah.
You know, like, he regrets an action that he didn't have full control over, that causes a confrontation with his bully friends, that alienates him from everything that he had going on for him, which forces introspection.
I think that the beast is like, it's the character he's playing in real life become real. Like the big man he's making himself out to be. Well, now he literally is that big man, and now he doesn't like that.
Yeah.
He never really wanted that because he wasn't thinking ahead. He was just sort of like going through it, like emotionally, like what makes
he was just enjoying the high of
Yeah.
being like the person in charge.
Yeah, it's sort of like a monkey's paw kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you like being the big man. Well, now you're the big man. Now your actions actually really hurt people.
Maybe this fruit acts like sort of like we talked about the mask a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But it's acting a little bit like the mask. Like when he's kind of like repressing his thoughts about him being a dick.
Yeah.
That's the mask saying like, all right, well, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah,
when he starts feeling empathy, he can't transform out of the brute because he sees himself as the brute.
He is now. Yeah, he sees himself as the brute.
And that's why he gets stuck in that I mean, this is not going to be explicitly stated in the movie. It's just kind of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. No, like, well, like it's that theme. People are following, they don't realize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then after he like has his heroic moment, like he learns to empathy and he helps these people in their dire moment. The big Act 3 like exciting scene where he's saving people from a burning building or whatever you want.
I got an idea for the end. Not like a great showstopper, but just something that sort of like makes the story make sense. What if he at the end he controls when he becomes the brute?
That's what I'm gonna
so that way in the future movies he doesn't have to always be the brute, but he can be it when he wants to be the brute.
I was going with what I was just saying.
Okay.
Like after he saves these people, he realizes like, this is power that could be used for good or bad.
Yeah,
and that's when he learns to control it.
Yeah.
Like we have this nice arc where it's a repression, so it happens when he's not trying to do it. He understands what he's repressing and he feels guilt about it, so he's stuck in that form because that's what he views himself now.
Yeah.
And after he sees what he can do with it, he realizes it's something that anyone can turn on and off, and that's when he can control his power.
Yeah.
So like that's a perfect arc.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
The beast, the brute is his, it's his confidence, it's his money, it's the way it's things he could hold over people, but he's learned to use that for good, to use it to help people.
Yeah.
Can we bring more fruit into this story?
Probably.
Does he need to keep eating the fruit to maintain the brute? Is that I don't know. I don't know if that screws with things.
I feel like we have a very tight, focused like story about a character's journey that I really like.
I don't want to mess with that. I'm just wondering if there's any place that we could add fruit just to keep it more. But just by the virtue of the fact, like people came to see a serial movie. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's so not featured that it might just be nice to sort of have it keep showing up, almost like a.
American Werewolf in London, one of my personal favorite movies of all time. I love that movie dearly. I think instead we could do it a little bit differently.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because like I was saying before, instead of having it be like in the foreground, this is a movie about like what you have inside, what you keep below.
Yeah.
I like maybe just having it be a background thing. Like American Werewolf in London, the soundtrack is all these songs about the moon. There's a lot of visual references that are just hidden in the background, a lot of big full circles and stuff.
So maybe they're playing Tutti Frutti on the radio.
Yeah, like just do it like American Werewolf in London did it, where like the friend was literally a curse, and that was an important narrative element. But like just as a visual and audio motif, like moons, circles, like moonlight, all these things were like...
I like that.
Yeah.
Instead of moons, it's fruit.
Yeah.
And maybe every time he sees fruit somewhere, it's like...
That's how we trigger like certain scenes.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Until next time, until next Yummy Mummy, we'll see you next time on Screen to Screen. If you've got any other ideas, let us know. Put them in the comments. You've all been very good about that. We have a big list of stuff we're going to get to.
Oh, yes.
We haven't forgotten about you. If you've given us something, we haven't forgotten about you. It's just, we've had a busy time lately. Well, we'll see you next time on Screen to Screen.
Bye-bye.
Bye.